James, we have a graphic about the process that a nurse needs to take in order to buy a car. Can you talk us through that and just explain that in a little bit more detail?
The only thing you're missing is first contact International Auto Sales. No, I'm just kidding.
Ah.
Uh, yeah. So really kind of going through buying a car, wherever you're buying a car. And if I could just touch on the point that you said before about choices, it's perfect to have choices. It's you want to have as many choices as possible. I mean, look what's happening today as the choices are limited, prices are going up. So it's definitely research everything, in the sense that, when you can say decide on the type of vehicle, that means really decide on the type of vehicle that's going to be best for your family. Do you need a small car? Do you need an SUV? What part of the United States are you moving to? Not necessarily do you require a four-wheel drive if you're moving to, for example, Florida or Texas, but you might still need the size of an SUV. Research online. So research the reviews on those vehicles. Try to make sure that people are talking positively about the car, that it's good for your area, that longevity of that vehicle is good, those types of things. And then this is really probably one of the most important, is determine your monthly budget. This is all going to be new. Moving to the United States, it's going to be new. You have new expenses. You have a new monthly. You have a new rent. You have utilities. You have taxes, you have health, you have all these types of new bills that are going to come up. So you really want to try to determine, what is going to be the extra income that you have, set aside for purchasing a vehicle. Research your loan options. Exactly. As many choices as you can find out there, the better. You have options with Advantial. You have options with International Auto Source. You have options with your local dealerships. The local dealerships, typically the only time, and I don't know, again, if I don't want this to sound self-fulfilling, but the local dealerships at the end of the day don't necessarily have to answer or are not building a longevity relation or partnership with Kinetics. So they're looking for that one individual deal, where situations like International Auto Source and Advantial are focused on many deals and long-term deals and doing the right thing all the time, as opposed to some of the time. So it's really a matter of, look out there and see who's offering you the best interest rates, see who's offering you the best down payment options, see who's offering you an option of no social security number. I mean, to Nicole's point, that's amazing. That's the single most important thing that someone requires in order to build a credit history. See who's offering you a car, that you have a car. So maybe you have a loaner car while you're waiting for your new car. Whatever the case is, look for that best situation for you. Shop at multiple dealerships. Absolutely. Verify, check pricing, make sure that you're getting the best deal, and make sure you're also working with a reputable company. There's no doubt about that. Check Google reviews and make sure that you're working with a reputable company. Car dealerships in the U.S. do not have the best reputation. Mm-hmm. Test drive, that's important. But in today's world, I've noticed, a lot of people are buying things online. I just bought an entire bedroom set and mattress online. I can't believe it. People are saying I'm crazy for not testing out the mattress. I said, it'll be fine. I sleep on it. That's it. But test drive that car to make sure that you're comfortable in there. And then select your vehicle and make sure that you review the costs. So you're going to go through the costs and make sure that there's no hidden fees. Make sure that those prices include the taxes. One little surprise in the United States is prices do not include taxes until the very, very end, typically. Now, because of our market, when we provide pricing, we ensure that everything's inclusive. But in the local market, when you're going to the local dealership, when you're first reviewing that price with a dealership, they're going to tell you about the taxes at the very end. So just be prepared for that, because taxes are not included in the original prices. And then make that final decision and give your initial down payment. There are services out there. I believe, loans like Advantial can be done with zero down, depending on the value of the vehicle. And then, similar with programs like ours, we can have zero down, which is important when you're first coming to the U.S. with all those new expenses. And, just make sure that if you do give that money down, again, you're giving it to a reputable company, whoever you're providing it to. So it can seem a little intimidating, that entire process, but I assure you there's companies and there's people out there that will help you. I mean, for example, Nurse Juan relied on some of his friends and people that relocated. And I really think it's one of the things I love the most when I hear you guys talk about it, how nurses helping nurses. I think it's so great that nurses moving into local areas, like an area like Kentucky, somebody's helping each other out, showing the lay of the land. So it's really lean on your friends, lean on your companies, and lean on companies like ours, Advantial and International Auto Source. And I assure you, both of us, both Advantial and International Auto Source, would help you or answer questions for you, whether you got a car from us or not, or a loan from us or not.
Exactly.
We're here to help.
Yes.
So, thank you, James. I think that gives so much great information and lots of pointers and tips there for any nurse who has never driven before, never bought a car before. It really can feel very overwhelming and very scary. So some great advice there.
It's overwhelming for Americans.
Yeah,
It's
for me too.
Yeah. Yeah, and intimidating for U.S. citizens. U.S. citizens don't want to buy cars and go to local dealerships,
Especially these days.
Yeah.
Especially these days when it's so expensive.
I can't imagine what it's like for an international nurse to go to a dealership and try to buy a car. It's a very intimidating process.
Yeah, definitely.